Tearful farewell. Emotional goodbye on Today's Show leaves hosts in tears. Sometimes television stops feeling like television. Sometimes the bright studio lights fade into the background, the scripts are forgotten, and what remains is something far more powerful: real emotion, shared history, and a goodbye that no one is truly ready for. That was exactly the feeling that filled the studio when the hosts of Today gathered for a moment that fans will remember for a long time. For decades, Today has been more than just a morning show. It has been a familiar presence in millions of homes, a comforting voice during breakfast, and a place where laughter, tears, and life's biggest moments unfold in real time. Since its beginnings in 1952, the show has evolved, changed faces, and grown with its audience. Yet one thing has always remained the same: the deep bonds formed behind the desk. And on this particular morning, those bonds were impossible to hide. The third hour of Today opened with a different energy. The smiles were there, but they carried weight. The laughter sounded softer, layered with emotion. Everyone knew this wasn't just another episode. It was a goodbye, one filled with love, gratitude, and just a little bit of heartbreak. The reason for the moment was Sheinelle Jones. Sheinelle has long been a steady, joyful presence on the show. Warm, authentic, and effortlessly relatable, she has built genuine connections with her co-hosts and viewers alike. Over the years, she hasn't just delivered news or shared stories, she's shared herself. Now, Sheinelle is stepping into a new chapter. She is preparing to become the permanent co-host of the fourth hour alongside Jenna Bush Hager, officially stepping into the role once held by Hoda Kotb earlier this year. After Hoda's departure earlier this year, Jenna carried the show forward with a rotating lineup of guest co-hosts under the title Today with Jenna and Friends. Soon, that era will close, making way for a new beginning, Today with Jenna and Sheinelle. It's a major career milestone, a celebration-worthy achievement, and yet it also means saying goodbye to the team that has felt like family. As the moment unfolded, Al Roker, Craig Melvin, and Dylan Dreyer gathered around Sheinelle, determined to honor her properly, though none of them seemed fully prepared for how emotional it would become. They explained that this wasn't just a farewell, but a toast, a chance to reflect, a moment to remember the laughter, the memories, and the countless hours spent together both on and off camera. Sheinelle, trying to keep the mood light, promised there would be no crying. That promise lasted only seconds. As Al Roker began speaking, his voice carried warmth and sincerity. He spoke about how fortunate the team had been, not only to work with Sheinelle, but to know her as a person. He talked about her kindness, her strength, and the way she brings people together without even trying. Then came a surprise. A video tribute played, featuring moments from Sheinelle's life beyond the studio. Viewers saw her as a daughter, a mother, and a woman deeply rooted in family and tradition. Clips showed her daughter Clara, her mother, her grandmother, and moments from an Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority legacy dinner. It wasn't flashy, it wasn't dramatic, it was intimate, and it hit hard. Sheinelle's eyes filled with tears as she watched her life reflected back at her, proof that her journey has always been more than a job. It's been about connection, legacy, and love. Dylan Dreyer spoke next, and her words came from the heart. She described Sheinelle not just as a colleague, but as one of her dearest friends. From their very first days together, their bond formed naturally and only grew stronger over the years. She laughed as she remembered their playful moments, the dancing, the learning, and the shared awkward attempts at each other's hobbies. A clip from 2018 appeared, showing Sheinelle teaching Dylan how to dance to Bruno Mars's 24K Magic, while Dylan returned the favor by introducing Sheinelle to golf. It was funny, it was sweet, and it reminded everyone that behind the polished professionalism is a group of people who genuinely enjoy each other's company. Then came Craig Melvin. By the time he spoke, the room was already heavy with emotion. His voice was steady at first, but his eyes betrayed him. He talked about Chanel's authenticity, the way she shows up as herself, whether the cameras are rolling or not. He admitted it was hard to even look at her in that moment because the tears were threatening to spill over. And then he did something unexpected. Craig revealed that he had written a poem for Chanel, just like Chanel herself has done so many times over the years. He called her his sister in spirit, describing her as fearless, compassionate, and strong. He spoke of the 3 hearts that know her best, her children, who proudly call her Mom. His words painted a picture of a woman who balances grace and resilience, humor and depth. He ended with a line that stayed with everyone in the room, about her smile being brighter than the studio lights, a spark of hope and strength that cannot be dimmed. By then, there were no dry eyes.
Not among the crew, and certainly not among the viewers watching at home. What made the moment so powerful wasn't sadness alone, it was love. The kind that comes from years of shared mornings, live broadcasts, unexpected chaos, inside jokes, and quiet support during difficult days. This goodbye wasn't about losing Chanel, it was about celebrating her. She's not leaving the Today family, she's simply moving to a new seat at the table. A seat that allows her voice to shine even brighter, her warmth to reach even further, and her presence to shape the next chapter of the show. For fans, this moment was a reminder of why Today continues to matter. In a media world that often feels rushed and impersonal, moments like these feel real. They feel human. They remind us that behind every familiar face is a story, behind every smile is effort, and behind every goodbye is gratitude. As Chanel steps into her new role alongside Jenna Bush Hager, excitement is building. Their chemistry promises laughter, honesty, and moments that feel like conversations with old friends. And while change can be emotional, it can also be beautiful. Because sometimes a tear-filled goodbye is really just the beginning of something wonderful. So what did you feel watching this unforgettable moment? Did it bring a smile through the tears? Are you excited to see Chanel Jones take on her new chapter? One thing is certain, this goodbye wasn't an ending. It was a heartfelt celebration of everything that makes mornings brighter, and the story is far from over. As the cameras slowly pulled back, the emotion in the studio didn't disappear, it lingered. Even after the applause softened and the smiles returned, something had clearly shifted. This wasn't just a farewell segment. It was a reminder that the Today Show is built on relationships that go far beyond headlines and teleprompters. Chanel Jones wiped away her tears and laughed through them, the way she only can, turning vulnerability into warmth. She thanked her co-hosts not with polished words, but with honesty. She spoke about mornings that started before sunrise, about nerves before big broadcasts, and about the comfort of knowing that the people beside her truly had her back. There was humor, too, because with Chanel, there always is. She joked about spilled coffee, missed cues, and moments when the cameras caught her laughing just a second too long. Those little imperfections, she said, were what made the experience unforgettable, and the studio responded the only way it could, with laughter mixed with tears. Al Roker nodded knowingly, adding that Chanel has always had a rare gift, the ability to make everyone feel seen. Whether it was a guest stepping onto live television for the first time or a colleague having a tough day, she had a way of leaning in, listening, and lifting people up. Dylan Dreyer chimed in with a playful smile, reminding everyone that even on the most stressful mornings, Chanel somehow found a way to keep the mood light. A quick dance move, a quiet joke off camera, a look that said, "We've got this." Craig Melvin added that the audience might see confidence on screen, but behind the scenes, Chanel is pure heart, the kind of person who checks in, remembers birthdays, and never forgets to ask how your family is doing. And that's what made this moment resonate far beyond the studio walls. Viewers at home didn't just watch a goodbye, they felt like part of it. Social media lit up with messages from fans who said Chanel felt like a friend they had grown up with, someone they trusted, someone who made mornings feel a little less lonely. Many shared how her openness about family, faith, and life's challenges made them feel understood. Others said her laugh alone could change the tone of their entire day. As the show moved forward, there was a sense of anticipation, not loss. Because Chanel isn't disappearing, she's stepping into something bigger. Her upcoming role alongside Jenna Bush Hager represents a new era, one filled with deeper conversations, playful banter, and moments that feel unscripted in the best way possible. Jenna's curiosity and warmth, paired with Chanel's authenticity and humor, promise a dynamic that feels both fresh and familiar. Behind the scenes, the team knows this transition matters. It's not just about filling a chair, it's about honoring the spirit of the show. And in many ways, Chanel embodies that spirit: strong, compassionate, resilient, and real. As the morning wrapped up, one final group hug brought the moment full circle. No grand speeches, no dramatic music, just people holding on a second longer than usual, fully aware that while change is coming, the bond remains. That's the beauty of a farewell like this. It hurts because it mattered, and it matters because it was real. So as audiences prepared to see Today with Jenna and Chanel take shape, there's excitement in the air, and gratitude too. Gratitude for the memories already made and hope for the ones still to come. Because in the end, this wasn't a goodbye fueled by sadness. It was a celebration of growth. A reminder that sometimes the most emotional goodbyes lead to the most meaningful new beginnings. And mornings, just like life, are always better shared with people who lead with heart.